Hey everybody, it's Lewis Porter Jr. I'm gonna have to restart because the Facebook gets caught up. Yeah. All right. So now that they're both synced up and running at the same time, hey everybody, it's Lewis Porter Jr. It is Tuesday, August 16th. Only 10 more days to my birthday. So if you're looking for a present to go get me, I like cash. It's very, very simple. Cash money is my friend. I'm all about that cash. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. So, it's Tuesday, so it's going to be some interesting stuff today. Because today, well, we have a couple things to announce. First and foremost, we can officially announce that Friday we will be doing a amazing, amazing, amazing special event video with Jim Zub. Jim Zub has been nice enough to agree on Friday night. It's going to be through our YouTube channel via Google Hangout. I will try to see if we can put the link here as soon as possible so everybody can come check it out. It should be very, very interesting and fun. There should be a lot of information. If you're interested in the business, if you're interested in that kind of just the general overview of like what he does and what's going on, you can come check it out. I think you'll find a lot of just great information just because it's going to be great. Because it is going to be great. But it's not just going to become great because I said that. But Jim Zub just announced a few hours ago, which makes it even cooler. He now has representation for media through APA, an agency that represents us, well-known actors, authors, musicians. He's going to be handling his own creator properties in Hollywood. So that means legitimately he could possibly get some of his products turned into movies or video games, or I'm guessing a little bit of everything. Just in case y'all don't know, I'm still recovering from my sickness from earlier last week, this week. But I've got my tea with me. So I'm feeling pretty good. So, yeah. So I'm hoping to get over this by Friday so we can have a really awesome interview. I'm going to ask some crazy questions. I know a lot of you will probably want to know about what his future plans. We'll be talking about that. We'll also be talking about him as an entrepreneur and developing his independent comic book business as a writer who doesn't draw, because that usually isn't the way. Usually you get guys who are artists, who want to be writers and that kind of thing. So now you've got kind of the difference this time. So it's kind of a cool thing. I kind of like that. I'm very interested. Like, how do you find good artists? And even better, how do you afford to pay for them? I mean, artists are expensive. God, I know. Nobody knows better than me. So, some other side business to talk about for all those who are wondering. Our Indigo, aka codename Indigo Donkey, our Infinite Dungeon is still moving along very well. We just actually sent the level 1 map off to the cartographer who's going to be looking at it. We've been talking about the project amongst ourselves and just getting some information back and forth, what's going on with that. So it's a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm enjoying more and more of it. While this is going on, we're also getting back chapters for New Exodus and getting that together and getting Crisis together so we can have this all out this year, even if I have to kill someone if necessary, which sounds horrible, but if you understand, I just want to get this out. It's driving me crazy. Plus, we've got other couple projects that we have coming out from our people who've sent us new work for our Undefeatables line. We've been putting that out and getting sales from that and seeing that's going. So we've been busy. But tonight, it's Tuesday, and on Tuesday we have a little thing of a publisher breakdown. So today we're going to talk about a company that's probably very, very well known in the industry. People have had made various comments about them, about the company in general, what I think about them, how I think they are in the industry, what do I think makes them so unique, and that kind of thing. So it was a great little bit of research, but I knew this company pretty well because I've been following them since their inception. The basic idea behind them was very, very smart. So I decided, hey, let's talk about them. Let's talk about them. A lot of people maybe don't know. I don't know how you don't know. I mean, if you're doing Pathfinder, that kind of stuff, how you don't know them is kind of almost impossible. But let's talk about them. Let's talk about them as a company. Let's talk about some of their products. Let's talk about some of their people. Let's give you a good overview. So tonight, people, I'm going to talk about Legendary Games. And, I'm going to tell you something that's going to surprise you. I think they have an unfair business advantage. I think that as a company, thank you. As a company, I think they have a massively unfair business advantage. I think a lot of companies will not be able to catch up with them. I think a lot of companies would love the same advantage they have. I think their advantage is awesome. And I think it's an advantage that actually can't be easily replicated. I think, personally, I think there are many companies out there that do third-party publics, including myself, tons of people. But I think Legendary definitely has that massive advantage, and it is unfair. It is unfair. I'm not gonna lie, it is unfair because there are a lot of people out there who wish they could have that kind of advantage. And simply put, what the advantage that Legendary Games has over a lot of these competitors, a lot of people I'm talking about, including myself, and like that, the advantage they have is they're amazingly talented. That's right. Their advantage is they're actually really good at what they do. And, that's, I wish they weren't so good, but they are. They're an awesome company run by well put together people, well structured, well done. I can't say enough things nice about them. I've had the pleasure of meeting Jason when I was actually out at PaizoCon 2013. He's an incredibly nice guy, very friendly. I can't, like I said, I can't say anything wrong about them. I think they do business the way it should. They handle their company like it's, it's not even like it's a company. It's more like they're having fun. It's more like they're saying, hey, let's do some cool stuff, and here's some fun stuff. Here's some stuff that people would like to try and like to see. And, it works well for them. I think it's definitely one of their strong points. So let's start out with some generic information. Their website, it's www.makeyourgameslegendary.com. Great name. Still a great name for the company. Legendary Games makes sense. So let's figure out some stuff. Let's figure out one thing they've done that I think is, even when I heard what was going on, I thought, genius. That's genius. So most people at Legendary Games are guys who've worked on Paizo's products already. They're already Paizo products guys. They're freelancers. They work together, and they all decided, hey, let's team up and let's do some stuff. Jason, I know, is working for them. They also lives out in Seattle, and he got these guys together, and they've worked together doing stuff for Paizo. And the thing that really started it out smart, doing like the add-ons, the plugins as they refer to them in their actual line, was a brilliant idea. I mean, it's one of those, and I'm not just like tooting their own horn because I know them. Look, they're a business, and I respect them as business people first and foremost, because that's what's important to me. Your business, and they picked the smartest way to get into Pathfinder fan base while at the same time establish themselves outside of the norm. And like I said, I'm looking at their RPG Now page right now. They currently have let's count all of them: 3, 6, 9. 12, 15, 17 different subheaders in there. And there's 5th edition, yeah, I count that too. And there's some cyberpunk stuff, yeah. But I'm talking specifically the Pathfinder specific focused products. And they do a lot of stuff. Let's start with which plugins are the first one that I remember. Was Righteous the first one? It's been such a long time ago. I can't remember actually what was the first ones that I saw. I think maybe Gothic might have been. See, there's so many plugins. It's kind of tough to remember which ones were which when they first came out. What came first, the chicken or the egg? Who knows? But that's not important. We'll go take one real quick. I'm gonna go back and pick one. Let's pick Righteous because I just haven't been looking at it. One of the first things they did that I thought was a very, very smart move was they introduced pre-generated characters for their campaign setting. It was for the campaign setting for playing the adventure paths for Paizo. And having their staff with guys who are actually working on the products for Paizo and the adventure paths, writing their projects, made it easy to dovetail into what they were doing. It was a very, very smart idea. It was a brilliantly well thought out and even better executed. Here's a fact I've never told anybody, and I'm sure people don't know. For a long time, me as a graphic designer, I was like, oh, I'm working all this time at work, and then I'm coming home and I'm doing all this work, and oh, it's tiring me out, and I don't want to do that. I really kept putting that off and doing cool looking design until I started looking at their stuff. They went from being, I mean, they went out of the gate being very strong, very, very creative. And I was like, ooh, I guess a lot of people are, stepping their game up. And I think they were definitely one of the ones I looked at and said, okay, can't put out mediocre looking stuff anymore. It got to be high quality. So I stepped my personal game up to their level. And their Heroes line, this one is Righteous Heroes, was a great idea. I think it was a brilliant idea. I think it was smart to get into the industry that way. I think it was a great way to introduce people into what they're trying to do. And I mean, I liked it so much. I'm not going to lie. I liked it so much. I used their same thing when we did ours for New Exodus. So we basically did kind of a very similar thing. We gave you, was it eight starting characters, but 4 of them were specifically New Exodus based ones. And we did ours for the Jade Regency Adventure Path. Oh, I can't call it that. Sorry. Technically, we can't call it that because, we were using their licensing and stuff like that. But, they were, oh, jeez, I'm so sick. It was very inspiring, to see these guys work so hard doing amazing stuff. So, and it kind of gave me, excuse me, it got me inspired to go, well, maybe I should do something like this for New Exodus. And that definitely gave me the inspiration for that. That's 100%. If you ever confused, no, man, of course, that was a great idea. It made sense. It was perfect sense. And they did that, and I was very, very impressed in how they pulled it off. They executed it amazingly, and it was everything you thought it was going to be. Not a surprise. And then they continued doing, I'd say sidetracks to it, making treasures for the Kickstarter, for the adventure paths, and they kept focusing it that way. And that was just a smart way. I mean, come out of the gate, you got the people, then you just, stuff that could fit along in their adventures. But these guys wrote these adventures, and I'm sure there's stuff that, there's stuff that you write for the main company, but there's other stuff in your head like, oh, maybe one day I'll go back and do this. And they took those thoughts and made it into this. Good idea. And then they've done, several lines of this. And whenever Adventure Path comes out, afford. I mean, they have the Winter plugin, Righteous, Pirates, not the Metal Gods. That's their own stuff. Gothic, Horror, Far East plugins, and yeah, Far East was the first one that I really got into. Yeah, actually, yes, the pre-generated characters, which is called Imperial Heroes. That was like the first one that really got me to say, wow, and something else that happened with Legendary Games. Now I'm going to tell them this, and they're going to be kind of surprised. I think their initial artwork was okay. It was okay. Not a lot of it was great. It was okay. Not horrible, not bad. Okay. And I think over time, they have improved their artwork and improved the graphic design. And now I think it's very, very a lot top-notch work. But, like when it's artists, I'm looking for always new artists and seeing stuff. And they've used some people I've used. Lance Red. I got to put his name in here. Jeez. Lance Red, who is a well-known artist and a great, great guy. If you get an opportunity, Lance was at Gen Con this year. And if you have this up at his booth, he had his art book. I know it's readily available. You can pick it up there, or you can go online. I think it's lance.red. That's what it is. If not, I'll make sure it's in the notes. You know me. It'll be in the notes no matter what. So Lance has done some work for them, and I think their style really meshes very well. And, it's just, like I said, there's so many cool things going on. And they seem to like to do artistically a style that I kind of like. So I think it's cool. I think it makes a lot of sense. So, boom. And, oh, good. I got it right. It was Lance.red, which is still kind of a cool, .com. You use your last name like that. Lance has got a good name. Lance Red. You can go all day with that. That's some cool stuff. Back to the story at hand. So, yeah, Lance is a cool guy. I've had the pleasure of working with Lance. I wish I could do more work with him. Lance has gotten professional, which is great for him. He's gotten to a very high level of professionalism, and he's getting, big offers from Paizo, which is, I'm so glad for Lance. I mean, okay, little side story. I met Lance to another publisher who was doing some stuff a long time ago, and he did this Sahagin. I can't remember what the class was, but a Sahagin creature. When I saw it, I was like, that's amazing. So I said, hey, give me the guy's name. And that's how I hooked up. And then I went on and continued using Lance for stuff. And that's usually how art is done. You find somebody's stuff, you see something you like, you find out, hey, who's using such and such, and hey, what do you know about him? Can you give me his information? And then you have a new artist. And then, like, the guy gets popular, everybody uses him. He gets really popular, gets a piezo, and then takes off, which is sad. But it's also a good thing because, it's really good to see guys who have quality go off to do more cool stuff. Hey, I like these guys. They're good guys. And Legendary is, is a prime example of just well-done products. Currently, let's look at if I can get back to it fast enough, taking so much time. Currently, their biggest seller right now, that's a 5e product. But let's talk about Pathfinder, their Mythic spell line. Yeah, they were like one of the first. I think the big breakout thing that helped them, I think in the long run, was them doing their whole Mythic line. They very much backed that. I don't think anyone else really jumped on the Mythic focus of things as much as Legendary Games did. I get the idea for Mythic, but I didn't find it that kind of appealing for me. Not as like even a publisher, just for me personally. But I think they supported it in the perfect way possible. I think I got a lot of fans out of that, and a lot of people wanted to play that. So that's kind of good. I think that worked very well for them. And it's a positive thing. It kind of worked in really kind of well. And then they also added some other cool stuff. I'm looking at some of their ultimate plugins, like they did their ultimate battle and rulership and war. That was their doing large scale battles, which is, I think a lot of people always wanted that kind of stuff, but it never really came out. And it kind of got pushed and it didn't. And, since RPGs are from wargaming, past, it only makes sense that people would want to talk about that thing. But at the same time, it never really tied in the way it should have. I think it still needed to work. I think it needed to work on so many levels, not even just the thing, just in general. But it was nice that they jumped in and said, hey, we're going to find ways to supplement that. And they make, they make great products to fill in. And once again, having the direct connection to Paizo's freelancers and even Paizo itself, it does give them a little bit of an advantage over, other companies. But at the same time, they're good. I mean, if they weren't good, that'd be one thing. If they were like, if Paizo was like, we're giving these guys all these advantages and these guys suck, that'd be one thing. But Legendary Games it's high quality. We all know it's high quality material. It's never I don't think you ever feel like you've been ripped off for your money. I never feel, and this is coming from me, and I've said this before, and they know I've said this. I think the prices are a little high, but I don't think the quality isn't equal to what they're paying. I think that the quality is good. I think the quality is solid quality. I don't think you'll be disappointed in what you purchased. So that's my personal feeling. But at the same time, I would say it's PDFs, it's this, but that's personal choice. So I'm not gonna bemoan them for that. I do like that they are very much hustling and getting product out and doing more and more stuff. I know that I think Jason and Rachel both doing this full time. So for them, this is how they eat. So I'm very big on people who work to eat, because eating is important. I have children, or a child, but eating is important. People know that eating is important. So I think that helps motivate them. Plus, they just want to do cool stuff. And wanting to do cool stuff is a great motivation for people and what we're doing as an industry in general. So they very much have gotten that focus. Another piece that they did that I think has worked out very, very well for them. They have a whole line of mini products, Mythic Mini, whatever. Just a whole line of mini products. They're very short products. We've had people I know. Jeff Lee has written for them some pieces. Alex Riggs has done some stuff for them. And they're very, very small, 3 page products, very small. And this is something I've talked about before, and I agree this is a great idea. I think I think any company who's doing a startup business who is trying to break into this industry or any industry should do some things like this. It's small, it's tidbits, they're dollar products. It's just small, cool thing, okay, boom, cool thing, boom, and just keep moving, cool thing. It's very, very inexpensive. You make it something that people can test out and try. And then eventually you can always collect these all together in one big book and sell it. But it also gives some people a regular schedule to know that, okay, every Monday you're going to come out with a product like XYZ. So you can check it out and see it there, and that's the whole deal. It's worth it. So, yeah, I think they've gotten that part right. I think they do a lot. I think they're trying to do a lot because, they're trying to generate income. So it's not a bad deal to do that way. It's smart. It's a smart long-term project. It's a smart way to handle it. It's a smart way to get people out there interested, and it works. And they have, they have a very strong following. And they also sell. They sell at several different locations. They have Paizo, RPG Now, D20 PFSRD. I don't know if any other places, but I assume they sell those. And I'm sure any other places they're selling. They sell direct, I know, on their own website. So they very much focus on that. Let me see what time it is. Okay. And we got all this. Everyone's loving this. Yeah, this is awesome. Da-da. Okay. That being said, let's talk about the weaknesses because, hey, man, this is a show about business. We talk about the positive and we talk about the negative. So here's a negative. Pricing. I'm going to go back to that. I think the pricing they have is expensive. I think pound for pound is kind of expensive. And this is the digital side. I'm not talking the print. I'm talking the digital. For what you pay for digital. I have been and always will be a proponent for, I don't think PDFs should cost more than $10. I have some PDFs that cost $11, $12. But even those I'm uncomfortable mentally, physically. I'm like, oh, I don't like that. But we gotta charge, we have to charge, we have bills. And they feel the same way. But it always just drives me crazy because I'm like, is that a reasonable price for this? Is this a little bit extra? I don't know. And it's not fair for me to say, well, I think they should be charging this because let's be honest, I'm not paying their guys. They're paying their guys. They're going out there hustling and paying the guy. So I won't, my perception of it is my perception. Plus, I'm not going to lie. I'm not the most thrifty guy. I mean, I'm like, I'll hold back a couple dollars if I could, but I get it. It's not a big issue, but it is an issue to me. Most people don't think it's an issue. If the quality is there and what you pay for, then you haven't really lost anything, which I agree. I think another problem they have, and this is something that I just talked about as a positive, their weekly release schedule kind of puts them into a bad situation. And this is something I haven't mentioned to any other companies, but I haven't mentioned that it's important to release on a regular schedule so people get used to doing it. The small dollar week one's a great one. The problem that can cause is that you get on the treadmill, as I call it. You're on the treadmill, you got to keep running, you got to keep up, you got to put this one product out, you got to keep, and it starts snowballing itself and becomes a real serious problem because you're always focusing on getting that next product out on the list of things you got to get. And, and it does give you time to sit back and actually focus on the larger projects that you might be working on and stuff like that, because you're stuck with these little mini projects you got to get out and you got to get out and you just got to get out. You just got to get out. And you know how it goes. It is what it is. So that is the life of it. I wish it was different, but that is what it is. And it can become a problem. It can become a long-term problem because you can't ever really catch up to what you're doing because you're so focused on doing it. You're not focused on, hey, where can we move the business? What can we talk more about the business? What kind of other things can we do to help increase sales of the business and things like that? Because you're so stuck on this treadmill. And I mean, I was on it too for a long, long time. And I say the biggest time I was on it was I was doing Mutants and Masterminds. When we were doing products for them, we did an entire, 52-week, bam, 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 just knocking it out. And, it was good and bad. But so much content came out so quickly, people can't catch up. But see, think about it. There's so much content coming out. There's X amount of content, and there's X amount of hours in the day. So if you're coming out with a weekly product, and then let's say the top 3 companies are coming out with a new product every week, and then you've got the regular release schedule on top of that, it's just so much product becomes to a point where people can't afford to collect it, and the money is finite. The ideas are not. I'm glad they're not, but when we put them on paper or digital, we try to sell them and get ideas. So this could be a problem. It can be a problem. So that's an issue. You can't stay on the treadmill forever, and it is what it is. Another problem they're actually solving that a lot of people don't realize, but they started solving this problem. A lot of third-party guys come into the industry and they start making products, and they just make products to help supplement or add more rules to what's going on. The weird problem The weird problem is they focus on doing that, but they don't actually focus on their own intellectual property to develop for themselves. When I get into a new world of game design or something like that, I focus on a campaign setting first, and then I think about product around it. I don't want to just keep making products like, oh, we got a product for this, got a product for that. There's got to be kind of a world that it fits in, so it all kind of makes sense. And it just, because let's be honest, our games, role-playing games, hell, I can talk about crazy timing. I mean, look how thick this is. Look how thick this is. Playing card. Boom. Regular playing card. This thing's kind of thick. It's a thick book. It's like bigger. It's bigger than some people's encyclopedia. So you got to learn all the rules in there, and then people want to add more rules to it. And I'm like, oh God, I don't want to do that. And that just becomes a whole big mess. And that, that's not something I want to do, and that's something I want to get involved with. But I think that you need to build your own IP to focus people on why you're creative and why they should buy more. I think their Legendary Planet Kickstarter was a prime example for that. That was a very good idea for them. I think it was a smart long-term plan for them. I think it worked very well. Legendary Beginnings, I know, is their new line for children. Another smart idea. Getting children involved. Getting, for a lack of a better term, getting the kids hooked early, so you got them trapped for life. Because, kids can't buy drugs, but they're buying RPGs, So, my drug of choice is a little Pathfinder and my comics, so there's no way I can ever have a drug habit. I can't afford it. It's financially not a good thing. So, that was a good plan for them. I think, they saw, like everybody has seen, I think a lot of companies are starting to move. We need to get more younger kids involved. And that was a very smart move for them. And in the long term, it's going to be a better long-term thing for them. So that's just a personal feeling, but so I can't tell it really a negative, but it's, it goes back to the whole, there's a lot of rules. There's a lot of rules, and got a lot of rules, got a lot of rules. So yeah, that's why personally I've always tried to stay away from doing more rules, because God knows we got a lot of rules. I mean, especially even better, doing classes. I think people go crazy about, I'm going to do another class. I'm going to do another class. It's like, Jesus, you don't even have so many classes. You really don't. And, we've done 2 classes for Neo Exodus, and they are very distinctively different, and they're supposed to be classes you can't replicate in other places, and that's why we built them, but they didn't exist. I don't think making more classes is always a good thing. I think archetypes, you can make those and swap out stuff as you need, but full-on classes, they have to be thematically and completely different for me. That's just my mindset, at least for me. What can I say? That's what I'm focused on. All right, it's 9:30. See, I'm getting better. I'm trying to stop these early instead of just rambling on, because there's nothing worse than rambling on, because you guys will get bored, and I'll get bored, and I'll start, I don't even know, and I don't want to do like that. I want to make concise videos that are pretty focused. So boom, there you go. Legendary games, very concise, very to the point. I guess I have to tell you, if you are a company looking to get into the industry, they are a great template to follow. They have done a lot of great things. There's a lot of options that, even though they do stuff, you can do your own version of them, like I did. I think their plugin line is a great idea for any adventure path. I think that's a kind of a smart thing to do. I think people who like adventure paths will find it useful if you make it useful. You may not be able to do like they did and get the original writers to work on it, but you can do really cool stuff that's add-on. I always thought a cool piece would be is they can do a what-if kind of scenario. So they do an adventure path, and maybe you're supposed to go left, but you went right instead, and you develop that whole adventure path, and maybe it doesn't connect back to the original adventure path. It becomes something totally different. I think that can be kind of cool. I think people can find that interesting. It's just, it's just on what you're going to design, what you're going to do. Like you talk about doing that one, but God knows I'm never going to do that. I'm never going to have time. We got 2 other projects we're working on that are driving me crazy, but hey, you never know. One day. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for watching. I always appreciate it. I know you could be doing something else, and I'm so thankful that you're here. As always, first and foremost, subscribe. Head over to our YouTube channel and subscribe. It's very, very important. We keep a lot of analytics, and we take a lot of research, so that's why I ask people to subscribe. If any friends you might like the show, also subscribe. Very, very important. Subscribe. Go down the notes. You'll see the link. Subscribe. Also, remember, Friday, Jim Zub is going to be, well, not here in Facebook, but over there in YouTube, or actually up there in YouTube. So we'll put the link out so you all can see and come by and watch. I'm hoping not to have another return episode like Jamal and I had that the kids were like just basically punking us in the entire thing. I'm hoping we don't have that. I am hoping that we're going to be talking about a lot of cool business aspects. I can't suggest to enough people, you might want to pick up one of some of Jim's books. This trade has been described, which I kind of agree, as it's like if you like Buffy, this will probably most likely appeal to you very much so. It's Wayward. Oh, now I got to write in the thing. I got to put Jim Zub's name in there too. Jeez. So I got to put Jim Zub's name, and I'll write in Wayward. That's his newest book. Jim Zub, and I think you can go check it out. You can find it basically at any comic book store should have in the trade paperback section. So go check it out. You should enjoy it. You'll be happy. Tomorrow is Wednesday, so it's comic book day. I'm sure we'll have some kind of comic book news because, of course, we're having our big thing on Friday. So that's about it. See, it's a quiet day, quite relaxing day, but a lot of good information. So, and as always, just because I put a crazy title up there, don't think just the crazy titles up there, it's going to mean I'm going to go off and attack somebody. If I'm going to attack somebody, I'm just going to attack them. But Legendary Games are, badass guys, so I like them. They're good friends. I want to say nice things about my friends. There's other guys I don't like. That's the other story. So there you go. All right, everybody, have a good night, and I will talk to you all later. Thank you once again for watching. I do appreciate this. You could be doing anything else, like sleeping or playing like UFC 2 on your Xbox One. Talk to y'all later.